Hello? Hello. Good evening. A little bit late for today's stream. A lot bit late. But, you know what? That's okay. Because now I have the gosh darnest cleanest computer. Oh, hey man, how you doing? Oh, here, let me go ahead and change this here real quick. I'm gonna manually change this because I was messing with some of my assets. There we are. Oh no! Yeah, so, I just, I know, right? They're from the Final Fantasy 14 quest. So I was gonna do my normal time, but I had some thermal paste coming, and it was going to arrive. It arrived at like 2:20. For me, local time, it was 2:20 in the afternoon, and I was like, you know what? I know this is coming. I'm gonna like grab a can of air. I'm gonna grab some like I'm gonna script the name, isopropyl alcohol that used to like remove the thermal paste, right? And so I did it, and it got here like right at 2:20, and it's like, you know, so my wife does some extra work at home at the end of the day, so I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna do it now. I'm gonna be loud, I'm gonna make a lot of noise, like, you know. So I did it, and I just moved from I'm in a new place, but I used to live in the Southwest, so like desert, right? And it was so dusty. It was just like sand remnants. It was just terrible, man. God bless my computer. It did, with how poorly I treated it, it was doing some work. Like, it did some seriously heavy lifting. I mean, even like idling. So I changed the thermal paste on my GPU and my CPU. Dude, I should have gotten, I had the chance to get a 1080 Ti. So I currently have a 1080 Ti. I have the option of getting it with a water cooler, pre-installed on it. Or, yeah. And you know what? Looking back on it, it did fine. But I really probably should have done that. Oh man, dude, it doesn't know when to stop. So I'm being a little risque tonight. I boosted my overclock a little bit more. So if the stream craps out, then that's my disclosure. I blame my overconfidence in my thermal pasting application abilities. But no, I'm happy. It's not going to be like in a room as hot as it is. It's like, it's nice now because I get to actually use it to heat my room because I am not used to being cold. But dude, how are you doing? Like, what are you doing up? Yes. Right. Oh, cool. Oh no. I just finished for reals. I just did some work stuff also. I was pushing a lot of it going into this last weekend, and then I had a little bit to wrap up, and I just finished all my stuff. So I still have other things to fill that time, but like, which is why I kind of dicked around on my cleaning my computer, to be fair. But yeah, I just wrapped my stuff up and I have a little bit of like breathing space. So, not a lot. But yeah, it's just nice to have like a little extra like brain space. Right? I don't like to brag about my procrastination skills, but they used to be
time to call it a night.
They used to be pretty good back in the day.
Another night outdoor.
I think I never had as good of a moment as I did in my, it must have been my second to last semester of my undergrad. I waited, as you do. You know, you're like finishing up your degree. You're a hot shot, right? It's like, I've done this. I got it. So it's like, you got to push the envelope, because it's like, I know once I get to this point, the adrenaline kicks in. I got the stream of consciousness going, right? It's like, I can write for like hours on end. I have like 15 books open. I'm set, right? So I did just that. I stayed up. This was only like one of like 2 or 3 all-nighters I actually pulled as an undergrad, so I feel very fortunate compared to like my roommate was an architect major, and he was out most nights, just like during the regular semester. But this paper, I was like, I got it. I know what I'm talking about. I know a few things. And so I didn't start the majority of it until the day before. Stayed up all night. I woke up, or like, I was drinking a beer while I was writing this paper. Like, I was going nonstop for hours. And I was like, okay, I'm going to take a breather. I'm just going to like hang out for a minute. I fall asleep at my desk, and I wake up like 2 or 3 hours later, and I had like a quarter or like a third of my beer left, and I was like, well, I still got like 5 pages left of this paper to write, and I have a beer. I might as well just keep going. So like, before I even write anything, I take the rest of the beer and I just like chug the rest of it, and I just keep writing. That was nothing will ever beat that whole, just situationally, it was perfect. Disclaimer for anyone who views this in the future, don't do that. It's silly. right. I have to give that extra disclaimer. Don't do that. Plan it out ahead of time. This, you know. Nay, I never did that as a student. No, not me.
Might as well get.
Ooh. Ooh. I'm gonna tell you something. Oh no, dude! Right? That's how it is sometimes. Man, whiskey was like my undergrad. Apparently, was like my peak. That was like my whiskey time. Now it's like, I see whiskey and it's like, oh no, I'm getting like insta heartburn just like thinking about it. Rip. Pour one out. It's like I do half a shot and it's like, oh, I gotta turn it in for a night. It's just like, no, what happened?
Yeah, I know.
I actually thought about...
Looks like you lads have had one heck of a
You know,
day. Ready to turn in?
how do I put this? Sometimes you just gotta jump through loops. And unfortunately, some of those loops are just poorly organized or poorly taught classes. Which is, I think, from an educational standpoint, unfortunate. But there's no avoiding it. It just happens. And honestly, sometimes that's all you need. That's all you need.
Welcome to Old Lestalem. On your way somewhere? Or dare I hope, here is that somewhere? It'll take a little bit of time.
Look out, stomach.
Right, it's...
Kenny and I look forward to seeing
You know what? Let's turn this around. I think you figured it out. The value is learning how to play the game. That's the education, not the class. I'm not saying there's a you know, I just started. I'm gonna say this really quick. There's a reason why I don't use my name or use a webcam. But I completely understand and I completely agree. Anyway, that said, I just recently started streaming. I think I started in mid-October. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and talk through this a little bit. Usually I do a little spiel about what we did last time, what we're going to do this time. So, you came in for a good one. We had, at least for what's accessible for our day. So, if you're familiar with Final Fantasy 15, you already know about this. If you're not, they integrated daily quests, and you get QP, so you can get like traded in for tiny things. We don't care about that. We care about experience or AP. So we got to stack up our QP right and cash in for like either experience or ascension points. There are some 200 QP daily quests, but we don't have access to them yet because those are more end game quests. But this Cactuar one, just like a boatload of experience, especially if I don't know what I have, I don't remember, but if I have like magic abilities with like an XP boost, this quest is absolutely money. I love it. So we're gonna knock out this right off the bat because I always forget if I don't do it right away. We are actually, you might be in for a fun one because I think we're actually going to move on with our story today. I don't think there's anything else I can do. I was going to double check to make sure I had all my hunts. So I'll probably do that just to make sure we're kosher. But yeah, so okay. Spiel. Done. I don't remember. I think the big thing was we like knocked out. It was a lot of fishing. It was terrible. It was the most boring, atrocious stream ever. I have no problem admitting that because it's just me like fishing the whole time. But I knocked out pretty much, except for like I can't do that one because I don't have access to the area yet. But like we've finished pretty much everything we can up to this point, and that's kind of how I've been approaching this particular playthrough. like I'm stacking my experience. I'm trying to hit it at key points. So I've only actually, aside from like right at the beginning, you know, when I need to gain levels, I've only intentionally, or since that point, I put on my experience band at about level 10 or 11. I didn't put it back on until most of the way through chapter 3, so I went from like level 10 to like level 65. And like I forgot to put it back on, so I gained a few extra levels. But there's a hotel that gives us a 3 times experience bonus that we'll have access to later in the game. So I'm saving all of my experience for that, which is why I want to wait till I want to keep stacking all this QP up. Because I want to see how far that's going to get us, because the experience curve is pretty steep at this point. And I don't think it's going to get us too far, even if we're almost looking at about, if we'd taken that 3 times multiplier, about 3 million experience. Yeah. But I can talk about, it's just cactars. We're gonna get this going. Oh, dang it, I always do that with the fast travel. Yeah, I didn't necessarily, in like ways, this is almost, it's not quite like an yeah, you do your thing. I'm going to talk through this. You just listen. Let me enjoy the soothing sounds of my commentary while I kick some cactar ass. So one thing that I thought was interesting as I was doing this is I don't necessarily feel like we're listening to I gotta get my DJ voice on. We're listening to the soothing sounds of AZU playing Final Fantasy 15. We're gonna do our daily quest tonight, and we're going to demolish some cactars. Maybe max out some of our items. Oh yeah, pro tip: if you need to max out any of your items, this quest gives you everything. This daily quest, as I like destroy my controller.
We're here.
Even though I was at level 65 and I still had like parts of chapter 3 left, I didn't ever necessarily feel like I was overpowered, but it was just easier to kind of get through everything. So I thought that discrepancy was really interesting. Where I anticipated having a much easier time than I really did. Super wrong. Okay. Chocobo.
Easy now.
See you, Slowpoke!
Uh-oh. There we are.
Last thing I need now.
Eyes peeled, mouth closed.
Okay. Oh, let's use the right items. So, unless I use some, and I may have already. Oh, Dura experience. There it is. Dude, we got 2 rare coins. This is gonna be nice. Look at that. Oh, bonus level 24. This is gonna be silly. Let's get this other one too. Because we want to go through we want to get as much experience from this as we can. So, what was that other item we had? Debased banknote. Oh, so before I do this, there's I think I've talked about this, but it's been a while ago, so I want to touch base on it again. My default is, for this particular game, I don't think too much about my magic. But, if we get down here, so okay, we kind of get to like some enhancements. So we have like, potency enhancement here by 10. AP freezing, elemency. But the bonus spell, if you're trying to just farm experience, this gives you an extra spell as you craft it. This, if you're grinding experience, is what you want to go for. So like, if you're early game, just grind out the 333 AP as best as you can. You may need to do some things to help you garner that AP, but having that extra spell is gonna really help. And like this 999 thing, that's just silly. Rip. So as we do for this one, just because it can be a bit of just like, it's a long one, and that's just kind of what it is. We just put our Magitech suits on
Thanks, buddy.
because we want to. The big thing with this, use your experience boosted elemencies.
Really? Again?
I think the thing with this one, it's hard to get them all in like one area sometimes. So like that was pretty good. Oh, and for this, they're generally like there's a pretty big level discrepancy. We can usually knock them out in like 1 or 2 like warp strikes, or 3, or 4. If your teammates don't do it before you do.
Look at this guy. No surprise.
But it's a great way to farm AP, this particular, yeah. I think the trick is just getting them from a little farther away. So we got our thunder. Oh, where are you?
Holding up okay. You think?
Where's the most sad? I think you have one more.
Where'd you learn that one, Doc? Nothing warranted your attention.
I want to get like, you know what? We're gonna move anyways. I want to try to get this particular warp spot because I know it's still in battle. I have jumped out of my battle, going to the tower over to my left here. That spot. Nice. Okay, good. So that's 4 at bonus, I think bonus level 24. So let's go ahead and put our Blizzara on. So we will have amassed a pretty good amount of experience. Like, my remedies are still maxed out from the last time I did this.
Say your prayers.
You know, so, oh, are we gonna do it? Are we gonna come through? I don't think we are. I'm gonna go ahead and do this real quick. Okay, I'm still here. I'm still here. I'm gonna mute myself here for a second. I don't think I need to stop the stream. I think I just need to restart the game. I got a little too cocky with my overclock. So, I'm here. I'll be 1 second. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and restart the stream. I got the game to restart, but even though the game is closed, I still have this nonsense. Which, to be fair, it's a banger. So, I mean, there's that. But I'm gonna go ahead and restart the stream. I'll be right back in just a minute, and I will not be cocky with my stream overclock. So, be right back.